Facebook is savage. There was somebody who was like, "Why is Sydney in the thumbnail for the panel?" I was like, "Because I had to go. I like jumped from one panel to the other on Saturday, and I was like, I had to go live because it was already like a yellow triangle, like warning me I'm about to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that our cats came immediately when it.
I know Ryuji's right here too.
Hi, Ryuji.
You want
Is
to
that
say hi to
Apollo?
Auntie Krystal? Yes, Apollo. Ryuji, your brother. Jesus Christmas.
That is so the dog from Cowboy Bebop. Like that.
He sure is.
Yeah, it's like 100. It's not even like a lookalike. It's the dog. All right, Hayden. Do you have your shiny yet?
Pardon me?
Do you have your shiny yet?
For what?
Spotlight hour? Oh no, you're in a different time zone, so it's not spotlight hour for you right now.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're so that means Krystal and I are in Central Time, and you're on Pacific Time. So your spotlight hour for Skitty is not for another 2 hours.
Brad, are you in Texas?
Iowa.
Iowa. Okay, we're in Iowa.
Where am I? Oh, Fort Madison.
Okay, we had a place in Ottumwa. I've been to like Ottumwa and Cedar Rapids.
I'm gonna.
We're in my Iowas. Okay.
Ottumwa, Iowa. So you like you had a house in Ottumwa?
That's where my family. My dad still has it. I just haven't been there since I moved to Texas. But that's where they hunt.
Oh, that looks. Oh, it's in the middle of a lot of green. Is that a national forest? No. Is there just, why is it all green? Does Google default to green on the map?
I have no idea. All I know is it's like a mile between neighbors there.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
There is nothing. It's beautiful.
Okay, so in between Davenport and Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
That's not far.
And it's like really, really affordable land. We just got plain land and got one of those like mobile tractor homes that you pick up and haul.
Would you believe my house is 5,000 square feet and it was under $90,000?
Oh my God.
No. Yeah, you know what though? Iowa is great for the property and stuff.
It is. I'm excited. I love small town America. Hayden, which province did you grow up in?
British Columbia. So okay. I grew up in a town of maybe 1,700 people. So
that's awesome.
Not really. There was nothing to do.
I love that though. I think that's my least favorite thing. Like I stopped off at the farmer's market yesterday on the way home from it's all inside. I would show off my bee soaps. Do any of you are believers in bees?
I've loved bees. I looked at the what is it called? What were they called? They were it was a big thing for like a year and then they stopped selling them, but the indoor beekeeping, the hives that attach to your walls that outside.
What? Okay.
Oh my God, they were gorgeous. Okay.
That sounds so both of you then are consumers of local honey?
Yes. Oh yeah. No, I love that kind of stuff. I make tincture from propolis. So I take like 100% alcohol, mix it with the propolis, and you let it sit for a while and do its thing.
Okay.
And then
ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah,
but then the propolis tincture is really good for like healing cuts. Hi, you like it too. You shouldn't have it though. It's good for like healing cuts. It's good for a sore throat or getting the flu. Like I use it for everything. And I'm out right now, and I don't have access to propolis.
Okay, so what is propolis? That is not
propolis is essentially the glue or like it's the part of the honey that the bees don't use like to make honey. It's essentially the glue between the hive and the wall, and it's what holds it together.
Okay, so that's the thing. That's a official scientific
LIS.
Yeah, I was gonna say Google's trying to save me from myself. Okay. So where do you get propolis from?
In the beehive. You have to like scrape, like once the hive has been like emptied out, essentially. Okay. Usually people have it, or it's like you scrape down the hive.
Yeah.
And I think my mom said it was between the like hive and like the wall that like they stay in. I can't remember exactly because I've never scraped it myself.
Okay. So with there it is. So this little guy right here, I think is scraping propolis. Okay, propolis and
what they do is they build it up because it reinforces the walls of their hive.
Oh man, that's incredible. Okay, and so you use that medicinally for cut. Okay, man, is my GSE? Oh, it is. Okay, you could all tell me. This is my go-to. Do any of you have GSE grapefruit seed extract in your medicine?
No, we try to keep it far away because my boyfriend, he can't have grapefruit anything, and so I'm always afraid of keeping it in the medicine drawer or anything because it would it renders his anti-rejection meds just kaput.
Damn.
And pomegranate, which would kill me.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, he can't do grapefruit, pomegranate. And I think that and Seville oranges. If you're on like anti-rejection medicine or any type of medicine, those 3 fruits for some reason will make it almost to the point that the medicine, it just completely negates its effects.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's
really good to know, actually.
Yeah, but I still love grapefruit so much. I just keep it in like a Ziploc baggie.
Opposite of love grapefruit. It is one of my least favorite things on the planet. But
really? I love it.
How does it feel to be wrong?
I love grapefruit so much. It's like starting that in the morning. Like you have that. It's so scrubs and like starting like with half a grapefruit in the morning. It's like the perfect balance between like bitter and sweet. It's like it's perfect in the middle. You have that, then I have a cup of coffee and then like my actual breakfast, but it helps get your digestive system going and it's so good.
Okay, so there I will ingest things that I'm not a fan of that are good for me. One of this being one. So this, man, it's probably 15 years ago. I've had a friend of mine that's a chiropractor. He's been a chiropractor for 15, 16 years. And when we were living in California, we could not afford it. And I think it was before we understood like how helpful the state of California was. They have like a sharing program. So some states it's like all or nothing. You either qualify for assistance or you're just left without health insurance. California has a scale. So it will pitch in if you're like, you know, like now we're a family of 5 children. So like California be like, all right, you should, this amount's reasonable. You guys are here. So here's the difference. But before we discovered that, my friend who's a chiropractor, I severe earaches. I don't know if anybody else, I was a swimmer growing up. I had strep like it was free. I had ear infections like they were candy. And I've been hospitalized for stuff like that.
I have my Highlands eardrops all the time. Yeah.
So he mixed, just like you said, Hayden, he mixed this with alcohol, GSE with alcohol there's a specific ratio that you mix it, and he would put it in and it's an antibacterial. This is an over-the-counter, get it at Walmart antibacterial. And I was having somewhat severe symptoms of like being sick years ago. And I was like, if this is safe to put in my ear, is it safe to ingest? And he was like, sure. Plenty of people do it. There's actually instructions on the back of it. Because for years, he just made me the elixir and was like, here, put this in your ear. And I was out of state, was living in North Dakota. And so he was like, just go on and Amazon a bottle of this to you. And sure enough, you can put 5 to 15 drops of this grapefruit seed extract concentrate in this as a glass of water. Boy, I don't recommend water. It's already pretty tough to take. Any juice, or juice of 5 ounces or more, and then you can drink it 1 to 3 times daily. And it has been unbelievable in terms of, if there's such a thing as a witch doctor, this is like in my witch doctor. Well, sweet.
It's just one of those remedies.
I think that the FDA inherently has a motivation to keep people on things, like almost like Netflix, right? Like if you're on a prescription, they want you to keep paying that prescription price? It's like a Netflix.
I think here in the US, I don't know how it works in Canada. I think it's less of the FDA here and more Express Scripts.
Yeah.
They are the ones who determine the pricing and adjudication for medications, and really the amount that like pharmacies and stuff get is all up to Express Scripts.
The PBM is what you're.
Yes, the PBM.
Yep. So there's Express Scripts. There's like 3 or 4 big PBM. CVS bought one of them. Yeah. Most of the pharmacy companies in the United States that are publicly traded are vertically integrated with the PBM because that's how they can sell their. It's like again, it's like a mail order thing, and they just right. So it's all about the subscription revenue model,
and that getting that sweet reimbursement.
Sweet. Okay, you ladies are gonna have to help me. This anime is deep. It is very, very like. So there, when the idea got pitched to me, the first thing I did was like I pulled up the cast list, and it is. I'm sure you've seen it.
Huge.
It is, oh yeah,
Fast.
And it's like the who's who. Okay, so it is like the who's who of English dub anime. So my first question is, whose idea was it? Because it was done at Sound Cadence Studios.
Yes.
Which is known for doing independent projects. But this list is, and it's like, and in addition to that, here's a few more people. How did this project come to be? Let's start there. How did Kemono Friends come to be? How did Sound Cadence pick it up?
I really don't know all the details. That's probably a better question for when you have Susie and Marissa on tomorrow.
Perfect.
Because Marissa was the director. I knew it was happening because I got the audition sides. The audition process for that show, as Krystal can attest to, we didn't get the audition sides for our characters until like they were the second to last set of scripts. I was on audition burnout because we would get sets of characters like maybe like 3 times a week. Like it was just
really
so many characters coming at you. I auditioned for every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one.
There were a few, like I distinctly remember that the group that had Lion and Moose and stuff, it came at a point where I was so tired. And I was like
I did 3 reads for Moose. So I did two different like styles. And then I was like, you know what? Because Marissa had initially asked me, but when she was like working on the show behind the scenes, they were throwing around the idea of accents. She asked me, she's like, can you do, I remember very distinctly, we were in the parking lot of Round 1, like arcade. We were walking back to our car. She's like, hey, really quick question.
Just right.
Or 2. Can you do a Canadian accent? I was like, yeah. Like, I was like, you mean just my normal accent when I drop like my Americanisms? And I was like, she's like, yeah. Like, can you up it a little bit? I was like, yeah, I can make sure that I say like sorry and everything's more sitting at the front of my mouth. And I'm saying like about and home and stuff like that. Like,
there you go.
Pronounced.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, okay, cool. Also, can you do a Russian or Siberian accent? Because Siberian Moose, I didn't know at the time. I was like, yeah. She's like, is there any way you could combine them? I was like, I have no idea, Marissa, but I will try whenever you send me whatever the frick is in your brain.
That's awesome.
So when Moose came around, I was like, I'm liking what I'm doing, but I'm not like feeling it. I was like, she did ask me to be Canadian. So I threw out I was like, I'll mark a Canadian take. I'll just do it just for fun, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the one that booked me. She's like, I wasn't fully hearing it. And then she's like, I heard the Canadian accent. And that's what I wanted. We actually went lower in the show than I did in the audition. And that's just my voice. I'd been working on a boy character leading up to that. So my voice had just naturally gotten lower.
Yeah.
I was working on Ulysses Jean d'Arc and the Alchemist Knight, very long title. But Anthony Bowling had cast me as a boy. So I was, Batard he kind of sat right here. So when Moose came around, she was originally more up here. She went way down here. And I was like, all right, she is bassy now, which was really fun. But yeah, no, I remember auditioning for Lion. She was very fun. I was like, ooh, this dual personality thing was really cute. But I was like, okay, I like what I did. Hell yeah. And then I heard Krystal, and I was like, this is exactly what it needed to be in every way. It's so good. Oh, Gilbert, Ryuji likes it too.
Hi, Ryuji.
That's awesome. I put on my Rough Riders for you. Any chance I can fly the Canadian flag, I do it. Exactly. I would think that if you saw like a list of animals, like moose would stick out. Like that's so Canadian. That's such a Canadian.
Oh my God. People already called me like a moose because I'm Canadian, and they're like, Hayden. I was like, I don't know. There's a video that I'm gonna have to post on Twitter, and I'll tag y'all in it. It's moose.mov. You can find it on. It's like the first thing that comes up when you look up Kemono Friends Moose.
Okay.
It's moose.mov. My friend Kellen Goff sent it to me.
Yes.
Kellen, he immediately messaged me. He's like, hey, this is just you. And I was like, so now I've taken the audio from that video, and I've made it like an alert on Twitch for when people raid me. It's great. But enough about me. What about Miss Krystal? Absolute unit. That is Moose. That is Moose.
Yeah. Like
I love Moose. They're so great. They're huge, y'all. Like their feet, like their hoof prints are like this big.
It's considered a predator, isn't it?
Moose are terrifying, man.
I'm pretty sure that. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, moose will. Yeah, they're huge. They're huge, and they will attack you.
Yeah.
I just saw a video yesterday of one running on water.
I saw that.
I was like, oh God.
They're insane.
The moment they learn to use utensils, we're done.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, they have big scoops, so.
So that's there's so much that's intriguing about Kemono Friends. It is a journey of innocence and discovery, and clearly friendship is a big deal. What I thought was neat is that they set up the main character or the protagonist, who is a human, to not know essentially that she's a human. Like, she starts from ground zero and says, like, what does the world look like if you don't know that you're a human, that these other things are different than you, and then begins to explore the world. And one of the coolest, I took a lot of notes because I guess I didn't know what to expect when I started down this rabbit hole. But there's one of my notes says there's rampant philosophy. There really is. One of the cool things that was said was that Caban's goal is to learn to be strong and brave, and Serval's goal is to learn like complex thinking. Like, that's the only differentiator between the one human and all the animals, right? Is the ability to problem solve.
Yeah, because the whole thing, Marissa really drove this home when we were working on it, especially during the auditions. She's like, they're just animals. Like, you need to have animal brain going into this. Like, yeah, the reads still need to be good, but you still need to be a dumb animal. You're not like, you don't have that cognitive thinking ability.
Right.
So like moose, they literally, how they are is they just charge straight forward. Oh, hi, Bill. That's my baby Bill Butts. I love you. Hi, bud. Oh, we need to go hiking. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, moose, that's their whole thing, is they literally just charge straight on. And that's just all Moose knows how to do. She's like, we just do the same thing. I don't see what the problem, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, and because she can't understand that other animals work differently, because she's got moose brain. So, and like Lion can also attest to this, like as well. So I want to know like what your experience.
Yeah, she just wants to sleep.
So let's start at the beginning, because Krystal, this is my first time I've ever met you. So I got to know you through all of my study, and you have been a fan for a long time. Your story of finding the Vegeta action figure after he went man overboard, and then you got then introduced to Dragon Ball Z. They're like, well, if you found my Vegeta, then let's sit down and watch. How did you get in front of a microphone? Like, were you just tell me the story of you going from finding Vegeta to your career as a voice actor?
Well, originally, when I was in school, I was very much a writer. I was very English based. I was a political science major, but I had originally entered college for opera and then had to switch to more of a pre-law like track if I wanted to keep going to college. So I was very adept at writing, but I had more of a creative like outlook on what I enjoyed doing. So originally, the first thing that I really did professionally was adaptive lyrics for the ADR. So like AKB 0048, a few other shows where they did not end up dubbing the songs, but I would write the English lyrics for them in a way that matched an American rhyme scheme, but also fit the flaps. Yeah. And then I had just done some walla in the past because I was there, and they're like, come on, see walla. I did not start voicing bit characters until I want to say it was for Kyle Jones and Log Horizon. An actress had gone into labor when she was supposed to go in there, and then the discs were going out very soon. So the qualifications for my casting were that I was female and breathing. So,
oh God. But I feel like right place, right time.
Yeah, I mean, I was slightly better than a rock. So, lucky me. And then I just kind of kept doing that, and then I just kind of worked my way up to, it was like a bit part or walla, bit part, small name, like episode character, name character, and yeah.
Okay, tell me the importance of walla, because I was like, Krystal is the walla queen. When I was like looking at your credits, I was like, man, she is in the studio ready to work. So can you take, because everybody wants to be a voice actor. I mean, that's a general cliche, but we all in this community meet a ton of people that want to go down that road. What is walla? How do you find yourself in a place to be doing walla?
Walla, it means with all actors. Yeah. And so it is literally just the speaking in the background chatter that you hear while the scene characters are speaking. And I just that I get hired for walla a lot. It depends on the studio. A lot of times I can go in different parts because I have a larger range. I can be an old woman talking to a little kid, and it's obviously more affordable and time efficient than getting two separate actors. And then a lot of it is I only moved to Dallas a few, like 2 years ago-ish, and usually they'll start actors off with walla so that they can get a feel for what their strengths are. So most of my walla credits are just because I'm still new, I'm still learning, and that's one of the first steps that almost every actor has to take.
Awesome.
Primarily I started doing walla, like I got really lucky in Vancouver that my first job, like VO job in Vancouver, was like one of the main characters. I just got really lucky in the audition that they picked me, and that Japan really liked me as well. Because I started, Brad, we've talked about this before, but I started with live action dubs. So dubbing live action Japanese shows, which were, oh my God, so much fun. Some of my favorite properties I've ever worked on. I wish I could get like the dubs on DVD. Like I wish I could find them. But anyways, when I started at Funimation, like, I was walla girl. Like I was, hi Phoebes. You're just gonna get a corgi leg here, but yeah, I started doing bits in walla, and that's the whole thing. Is it also proves to the directors and stuff like that you're willing to show up and work, and it also gives them a good, like, some directors that I've worked with, they're like, oh, sometimes it's a training ground. So I can see what actors I'd want to continue to work with in the future. It gives them a sense of who you are, how fast you can work, if you can knock out a bit like first take and just like get it done, especially in the simuldub world that we're in right now.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but something about your voice Atticus loves. He's gnawing on the laptop whenever you start talking.
Buddy, I miss him so much.
He's just a little man.
He's a sweet little man.
I think it's the same is true when it comes to athletes and coaches. I wouldn't necessarily put a guy on the field in football until I've like tested him, and I want to know that. So when the offense is out on the field, I would. Anyone that was smart would come next to me, and then I would say, like, what if I called this? What if I called this? What if I called this? Comfortable. Then I would, the next time somebody got winded, somebody got hurt, and the guys that I knew that I could trust when I went in there, and that sounds a ton like all of them, that those directors are kind of like testing, and then they're like, hey, I need a rock. I need a rock.
Sometimes that's the case, yeah. And sometimes, like with Goblin Slayer, I had never worked with, like, just as an example, I'd never worked with Tabitha. I'd worked at Funimation once, like once or twice, done Walla, and then I got the audition, and then I got that character, and then I started being like Walla girl for a bunch of other things. So it happens in weird ways, and that's how it happened in Vancouver as well. And I'm like, that's also my experience in LA. So I get a character and then I do Walla. It's very weird.
That's awesome.
And I think the reason that there is so much Walla is because it would sound really boring without background.
Oh my God, would it ever?
Could you imagine it in like complete silence until like the speaking characters are speaking?
Yeah, it's just it's
so
the
necessary.
Filler. Like, think about when you go to like a coffee shop and it is dead silent. It's almost uncomfortable. But if there's that noise around, it fills out the room. So it just makes it feel alive. And Walla, some people are like, I've met some people who are like, even newer actors, like, I don't want to do Walla. I just want to be a character. I'm like, well, as someone who's produced things, having Walla is very, very important, and it makes the whole world alive. It's such an important part.
Yeah.
Yes, it is like lower tier. I love doing Walla personally, but it's so good, and it makes the shows that you love have that life to them.
When it's gone.
Yeah,
it's very noticeable when it's gone.
Yeah. We were watching the uncut version of Shaman King. And there's a lot of moments where there's long stretches of silence. I'm like, this is really uncomfortable.
Okay, so in terms of Krystal, how did I love when you said I was going to do opera, but then pre-med or pre-law seemed like a much more reasonable thing to do. Is that like somebody in your family like pressuring?
Yeah,
like,
it was, hey, it was literally, I went in, I had done it all throughout high school. Yeah. I had gone in, I'd finished my first year, and then it was, hey, I hope you got that creative stuff out of your system. You need to do something else. And I was like, well, it was either that or not go.
Right.
So,
okay.
But
it did.
But I was still able to seek out extracurriculars and continue doing theater. So it worked.
Yeah, I feel like that's the moral of the story in so many cases. Like, you don't have to just totally walk away from this thing that you love, but at the same time, right? If that's how you continue to be in school, then you just continue to be in school. And then, so how did you? Was it an extracurricular thing that led you, that kept you having access to the creative side? Like, how did you complete pre-law?
Yes. My day job is I'm a criminal defense attorney in white collar. Yeah.
What? Like right now?
Right now.
What? Okay, that's savage. So by day you defend the law, and then at night you go in to Funimation Studios and you make sounds with your voice.
It's by day I do the law, but also I've gone into record during lunch hour, during court recess, at night, and then I'll do auditions overnight before I go to the office. I'm tired, but
you're a superhero, so
I'm tired. Okay. I'm tired.
Wow. I feel that.
That's awesome. That is the coolest thing. That's awesome. Do you know Christopher Wakehamp?
Yeah, well, I know of him. I don't think I've met him yet.
You guys should totally have lunch at some point. Like, he worked at IBM. Same kind of thing, but he was working at IBM, and then just got enough gumption, I guess, to just walk away one day. I would imagine he was probably cast as a head, if I had to guess the timeline of things, and then was like, okay, this ought to be a big enough credit to take the plunge, and then just like, bye IBM.
I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to take like a full acting plunge, because one of the things I learned in law school was so much of the work doesn't make me happy, but it is so necessary for a good defense attorney, because so many people go unrepresented because they can't afford it. And justice, while it should not be able to be bought, it unfortunately is in so many cases. So I feel like I've got a job that makes me happy, and then the job that I really should be doing because they need good attorneys.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's badass. Way to freaking go, Krystal. Okay, that's amazing. So someone tell me where Big Chungus. What is it? 9 minutes? 11 minutes of my life is amazing. Hayden, you're all ready to tell the story.
That is all Howard Wang. That is all Howard, who's an engineer. He's one of the heads of Sound Cadence. That is all Howard Wang being a meme lord. I love Howard to bits. Like, we have a joke where we're just the same person. Like, we're just from different timelines that have converged. It's great. Howard's wonderful, and all those bloopers are, except for like some, is just Howard being like, say this.
Oh, really?
Like, all of like the blooper of not Susie, Bapa Bapa Bapa. Oh my God, Danny saying, "Why does Roxas look like Ventus?" Like the Kingdom Hearts joke. I was like, Howard, because Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out at the time, so it was topical on our brains, and that's all that is Howard loving that meme, and that meme being popular at the time, and Howard enjoying it and making actors say it.
It's so good. So that was, nobody just like was out with that? Did he just like feed that to you? Was that like oh man.
That's him being like, hey, say this just for me. Just please.
Oh man, it's so good. I think my favorite though are the Goku ones. Like,
that is also Howard.
Because there is an area of Japari Park that is, it sounds like Goku. Like, once I learned the layout of like the park, I was like, oh, I get it. But it's still like, it was like, get over here, Goku. Oh man, Japari. Okay.
Oh man, like Michelle as the snub-nosed monkey when she's like, hey, I'm Goku. I'm like, you're just Goku. Like, God damn it.
Hey, Goku.
Hey, I'm Goku. I'm like,
oh my gosh, it was funny.
It.
Yeah, and then after that, I was like, get over here, Goku. Oh man, why is that map so hard to find? I thought it would be a lot easier to find that. There is an actual layout of because I watched Marissa Lenti play the
game.
It was a mashup of Kemono Friends and oh my gosh,
Kemono May Die, or
Kemono.
I
edited that video for her.
Oh, you edited that?
Yeah, I'm her video editor for like her YouTube stuff, and then it's just I remember I'm like, this game is so weird. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But then she was like looking around the map, and that's when I realized like, oh, there's an actual area that's called something that sounds like Goku Ka, or it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man, it's so good, so funny. Okay, the dubstep, is that another like?
I actually don't know about that because I wasn't there for it, but I'm pretty sure it's the music that plays when the ceruleans show up. Yep. It's just like dubstep music, and I think that was just Susie. But that's a question for like Susie and Marissa tomorrow because I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't there for that. The Moose stuff was me going, hey, can I say this? Those sessions were just, it was chaos in the best way because it was myself, Howard, and Marissa, and the three of us together is chaos, and it's great.
My boyfriend can't open pretzels. Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry.
Hi, Chris.
Howdy.
That's awesome. Some of those containers where they tell you to tear them, it's not as easy as they would make you think.
No, that was child and like Chris and partially me proof.
I'm losing the power of what I call my mom hands. I couldn't open a jar of pickles yesterday, and I was so sad. I was like, what's happening? So I'm like, here, I'm just gonna run this under hot water and just. But I used to have like monster like mom hands, and I could open anything. I don't know what's happening to me.
Question, actually.
Yeah. Yes.
What is the best brand of pickles? My respect for y'all.
Ooh.
Isn't there only one brand?
A pickle?
That's just coming from a guy that only eats one brand.
I mean, I don't remember what the brand is. It's the one with the stork on it. I like those. And I like Vicks pickles, I think is what my mom would always buy.
Oh, Vicks is good too.
Vicks is really good. I don't freaking remember.
I love Clausen pickles.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're about to hate me is what you're saying?
No. I just like pickles a lot. The corn is really good. We just had a conversation about pickles, and I was like, now it all comes back.
Full circle.
Do you have kids, Krystal?
No. Well, I've got the cat.
Well, they probably don't eat pickles like at the rate my kids eat pickles. We cannot keep. So that's Mount Olive is my. Rachel, do you have a pickle brand? I know she's very particular. Oh, Clausen.
It has to be refrigerated.
Hayden, didn't you say Clausen?
Is that the one with the stork?
No, that's Classic.
Let's take it.
Classic is the stork. Clausen is what's on the Clausen jar in there?
I think it's like a pickle that like it looks like a cucumber. Oh, you know what? I just said that out loud. And a pickle is a cucumber that's pickled, right? No,
it's a pickled cucumber. Yeah.
Right? Isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. They're the small cucumbers that are then pickled.
Okay, because pickle is a noun and a verb, right? Like
Vlasic. Those are the ones.
Clausen is the one with the green. It's got a
right here.
Yeah, it's got a pickle on it.
Yeah,
it's just a pickle.
Little breaking pickle.
Oh, that's one of my when I moved to Texas, like my go-to like snacks became like I got this from Terry Doty, bless her, I love her so much, was a pickle, because we don't have those in Canada at the theaters, a pickle and Twizzlers, because then it's like, you got both.
Like you eat them together?
No. You like eat them like alternately. So then you get like this, the salty vinegary from like the pickle, and then you get like the sweet, sugary kind of taste from the Twizzlers. And eating them alternately, it's like a fun ride for your mouth.
So have you ever had pickles with cheese wrapped around it?
Oh yeah. Pickle, like always, like if I have like a grilled cheese sandwich, it's always a pickle on the side. Or if I make like, I'm just gonna humble brag here. I make really bomb fried chicken sandwiches.
Yeah. Like
always pickles with that. Like.
Now, did you get that from, oh my gosh, why can I not think of?
I stole that from Dave's Hot Chicken.
So not from Chick-fil-A.
I refuse to support Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
I've never had one of their sandwiches. I never will. They are a homophobic company, and I refuse to be a part of it as someone of the LGBT community. And no, thank you.
We call them Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
yep. That's yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Cannot support it.
Yeah. I just didn't eat it because I don't believe in eating meat that isn't ethically raised. So I don't eat their because it's beakless. It's beakless chicken, and that's not a cool way to live your life.
What?
Yeah, because production quality chicken, Krystal, they don't. You can't have beaks. You can't have anything that could attack the chicken next to you. So you have to be raised like a piece of meat rather than an animal.
Yeah. I knew that they weren't. It wasn't right. I didn't even know about the beaklessness of it all, and that's
the business
that's so
raising like production quality meat as opposed to like a free range chicken that gets to roam around and peck things and pull stuff out of the ground and be a chicken. Yeah, it's a pretty huge. There's some Netflix, some very disturbing Netflix. Man, Rachel, do you remember the documentary on Netflix that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little off topic, but
little
animals.
It is
animals, but I don't think we had any chickens in Kemono Friends, but there were birds. My favorite bird, probably because I'm friends, but also Michelle Marie as Ibis.
I love
Michelle.
Michelle.
Oh my god, Michelle's so good. She's super sweet, but oh my god, Ibis's song is probably like my favorite. I'm like, I know I'm not gonna land this, but I'm gonna do my best to sing poorly. Because Marissa's whole thing, she's like, I want it bad. I want it so bad. And it was great. I think I showed Alejandro. He's like, that's the worst I've ever heard you sing, and I love it. But yeah, Crested Ibis was good. And then we had the other Ibis bird in there too. I don't know if she ever sang. It's been a minute since I've watched the show. I have the DVD upstairs. I need to go back and watch that and watch other shows that I'm in. But I wanted to do, because there's a lot of actors from the show who are out here in LA, I wanted to do like a Kemono Friends like night, and then the virus happened. But
don't you have a healthy streaming life? Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't stream the show. So.
Oh no! Well, I feel like Dante and the gang, Dante and Gray and Jack, they're all. I'm trying to think how they do it. So every week they're doing like the Avatar cast gets together and watches Avatar and like talk through it.
Yeah, maybe I'll think about it. That would be something fun to do.
Yeah, I know. Caitlin Glass will say, okay, everybody, set your DVDs to or your Funimation subscriptions to this, and then she'll watch Fruits Basket at the same time, and then kind of like commentate through. So like it's not on screen, but everybody's kind of enjoying the same thing together. That would be super cool to do.
Yeah.
Ideas on Krystal, things that struck you on. It's such a non-typical take on. It was constantly brought back to. So the animals in there are almost like tools. Right? The goal is to get to the library, and they want to seek knowledge. Right? The library is kind of like this metaphor for, and then there are things that stand in their way, and then each episode is a challenge of things that they have to overcome in order to kind of like learn about their world. Have you had a chance to watch like full episodes? Or
yeah, I've watched most of it. It was in different spurts.
Yeah.
Like they did like a watch party, a viewing party. So I somehow I saw the last episode for another panel or streaming or something.
What were your impressions?
And then my roommate bought the Blu-ray, so I went back and forth while he was watching it.
What was your impression in terms of how much messaging? I guess I'm trying to think of what the right word is, but he's really trying to tell a story. Like the story's really trying to. Whereas some things, the moral of the story may be less like kind of like hidden. It's really like the point of Kemono Friends is to keep telling these almost stories of morality and stories of friendship and stories of like being able to work together. Did you have any really strong feelings as you watched kind of see it all come together outside of just your part of like what was trying to be communicated?
Oh, Gosh, it's hard because, you know, you're right. It is so deep. I think that the overwhelming message of a friendship that transcends our little differences is one of the most important things you can foster among animals, people, different races, different creeds, anything. But each episode itself, I love that each animal had like a certain obstacle of their own to overcome, that or an obstacle of their own, in addition to the overarching obstacle of Kaban understanding who she is and what everything is about. And so I think that the purpose of Kemono Friends, when it first came out, was, I think a lot of it, wasn't it conservation efforts and supporting zoos in Japan?
Mm-hmm.
So not only was it education about the animals themselves, but each animal's flaw was something that maybe a kid could relate to.
Yep.
And so it's not only about them supporting each other, it's the show supporting any potential viewer that it has and saying, you are wonderful. You are, if you like this animal for all of its flaws, why can't you like yourself?
Yeah. And I think that the message that we're better together, we don't all come with the same parts and pieces. We don't all bring the same thing to the table. And that the problem solving that occurs is when each animal uses like what they're good at. And then it's like together, team together, everyone achieves more. It's like a hokey way to say it, but it's
true.
Yeah.
It's very true. And it's when you like, everyone has something that makes them different, and using that in a more, what was great about seeing like our episode is that Kaban actually helps like show our characters like, well, you have like this forward drive, and that's like, use that like this. And it's really cool, like having everyone come together, like in the last couple episodes when they defeat the Ceruleans, they have all kind of been helped to use those strengths for the better and to work together. And it's a story about togetherness, but it's also a story about self-acceptance. It teaches everyone's like, you have these things that make you different, and you might be using them this way. With the right, like with nudges in the right direction, you can completely change how your life is going. And it's really good, and it's not what I expected at all from this show. It's like, oh, it's just this show based on like this mobile game. I don't know. It's really cute. I get to play Moose. Cool. And then I watched it and I'm like, this show's really, really good, and it means so much to me. I love it. I'm really grateful we got to be a part of it. And then like Alejandro upstairs, you can probably hear because he's streaming right now, but he got to do like the giraffe like zookeeper segment because he worked at a zoo and worked with the giraffes. So it's like, oh, he got to be in it too. And what I love that Marissa did is she reached out to actual zoos and got the zookeepers to come into the studio and record those bits. Those are actual zookeepers. Those are not actors.
Hey, that's awesome.
Which was so cool. And like, we like supported the zoos, stuff like that. I'm like, it's just really cool. And Marissa did such an amazing job with this show. And I'm just like, we got to be a part of something cool.
Now, and you may know, both of you may already know, but are you aware of like how much the zoos were impacted as a result of, let's see.
It was ridiculous in Japan. It was like a movement into getting people back to zoos.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm trying to see if we can quantify. So in looking for like how to consume Kemono Friends, it's actually streaming on Netflix in Japan.
That's so cool. Do they have the dub on there, or is it just the J?
No, it's and the only reason that when you do a search like how do I watch Kemono Friends, you'll see the like Netflix.jp, right? And when you go into Netflix, it's funny. I was on a call with Andrew last night, and I was like, "Hey, just so you know," and then I typed in Kemono Friends into Netflix, and it knows what I'm after, and it's like, want to watch BNA? Do you want to watch Beastars? Do you want to watch like?
I mean, Beastars is pretty good, but the thing is, if you have a VPN, I'm going to give you this little secret because this is how I got people to watch Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which you should all watch because it's an amazing show and it deserves to be rebooted or like be continued. Anyways, so if you have a VPN, you can change your region to where you're watching. So if you have a VPN, you can change your region to Japan. So then you can go on Netflix on your computer and watch Kemono Friends. You're welcome.
For just for a friend, what's a VPN?
Okay. I don't know how to explain it because I just consume too much YouTube, but basically it protects protects you from doxing, protects all of your information. So like let's say you make an incognito browser because you don't want it to be like on your history or like in your cookies or whatever. That really doesn't protect you from anything. So it protects people from stealing all your stuff, but you can also use it to change your region IP address. So you can watch things from other regions and stuff like that. And that's been like a big draw for like them like promoting to YouTubers and stuff like that. But we have ExpressVPN. We really like it. And it lets us watch stuff in other regions while protecting all of our stuff. This is not an ad. This is just use it.
How do you do a VPN?
So virtual private network is what VPN stands for.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
and if I use that, I get free cookies. Is that what
I mean, I'll just mail you cookies, Krystal.
I totally picked up what you're putting down there, Chris. Like that is such a like internet joke. I love your point. That makes me really happy. And for anyone who like cookies are obviously a big part of. Do you? Okay, you can all tell me whether or not I'm so paranoid. I refuse to click on like websites are now required by law to have that thing pop up that's like they're telling you that there's a track. I won't click on it. I'll use the website as much as it will let me to, but I won't click on accept or deny.
I usually accept, but yeah, go ahead, Krystal.
Oh no, I was gonna say I used to worry about that stuff and deny, but once I started doing federal cases, I got to see I got to see some of the average information that the ADA can pull on a defendant. So now I realize that everything I do to try to protect my privacy does not matter. If they want me, they got me. Like
we should give up then.
It's a lost cause. I mean, it's shocking how much of a footprint each of us has, even if we're private people. Yeah. So, I mean, cookies, it's not crime time. I'm not going to do nothing. So
yeah,
they can have my cookies.
Mostly the website that is like, oh, do you accept or deny cookies? I'm on ColourPop Cosmetics just buying too much makeup. So like I set my alarm this morning. I'm like, oh, they have a whole Hocus Pocus collection. Halloween is who I am as a person.
Do they?
Yes, Krystal, I will link you. It's an entire collection. Also, oatmeal raisin cookies are the best cookie.
Jeff is so funny.
Definitively.
So when I came to Houston to visit Chris, there's a coffee shop next to my law school that has the most delicious oatmeal cookie you could ever have in your entire life. Like there's like oatmeal cookies, and then these oatmeal cookies are such good oatmeal cookies. It is a different type of cookie. I don't know how. And the day I was gonna go get like a bag of them, and I was so excited. Boom! Pandemic.
Are they soft or are they crunchy?
The outside is crunchy, but the inside is the softest cookie you ever had. I don't know what they do.
I love soft cookies. I made snickerdoodle cookies the other day, and they were there's so much butter in those cookies, but I don't care. It's a pandemic. I work out anyway. It's fine. I work out. And then you dunk the cookie in cinnamon sugar. And then, but because it's like so gooey and the batter is softer, the middle was just chewy and delicious even after they'd cooled. So good.
I've been in a single hotel room since February. I tried to make oatmeal raisin cookies in the microwave, and I don't recommend it. That's been my cookie adventure in the last 6 months.
Oh no. Yeah, because y'all are in Houston. I'm like, I'm so far away. Otherwise, I'd bring you cookies.
I know.
Okay.
I miss you.
Well, now that we know, do you have an Amazon wish list? If you do, then I'm sure we can get someone in chat to get you cookies, get you oatmeal raisin cookies.
From Amazon? I don't know, man.
I've never looked up cookies on Amazon.
Well, it has to be, right? Is there a limit to Amazon? I think Jeff Bezos knows everything about us that can be known.
Does Jeff Bezos bake me cookies like that?
Hello?
Oh,
knock, knock.
Oh, man. That would be...
I mean, there are like Amazon stores here where you can like go scan stuff and you just pay for it on, you grab it and you walk out with it. Like you scan it and you pay for it on your app and you just walk out. It's scary. But you can buy food. Yeah, you can buy cookies. It's weird.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know if I trust it because I'd rather just bake a fresh cookie for myself. Like I bought chocolate chips. I might just make cookies tonight after all this.
Ovens are scary. Like who knows what happens in the oven when you're not looking? That never like, I don't know, man. I cook everything where I can see it. The oven is just like a mystery. It's like a box and you put it in there and it comes out and it's done. Like,
I love using the oven. I make the most delicious like baked veggies, and then I make like a honey Dijon balsamic sauce to put on top of those grilled veggies. Okay. Delicious. You put a steak next to that.
Yes.
It's a gourmet dinner done in like 20 minutes.
Do you flip the steak at all, or you just literally put a steak in?
I sear it on the stove while everything's in the oven.
I got an air fryer for Chris's birthday for the hotel room. Ooh. And that's what we've been making everything in. And it's been so cool learning how, like, making different vegetables, because he used to not really like vegetables, but ever since the transplant, his taste buds just, like, did a 180. Yeah. So he's, like, discovering that he likes zucchini and tomatoes for the first time in his life. So I'm like, and vegetable everything!
Yeah,
I found out how to make Alejandro eat vegetables. I'm like, ooh, I'll put a delicious, healthy sauce on it, and you'll eat it.
I hide shredded carrots in peanut butter and just say that it's crunchy peanut butter for people that like need vegetables but can't handle them.
That's funny.
You know exactly who I'm talking.
All right. So with that, let's do parting shots and direct people to places on the internet, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we'll pop up in VIP and start answering questions. Krystal, is there any charity? The law seems to need help these days. Are there any charitable organizations that you work with, places you want to direct people to that are causes that are near and dear to your heart?
I have two. One is a very selfish one, but it is the nearest and dearest cause to my heart in the entire world, because it is my heart, which is Chris's GoFundMe. It is on it's pinned on his Twitter page. My boyfriend recently had a double lung transplant, and how many pills a day do you have to take? Over 40. He has to take over 40 pills a day, and the costs are over $1,000 a month just for the medication. Okay. He needs a bronchoscopy, and that's with insurance. He needs a bronchoscopy at least once a month, which is
Twitter.
On Christopher Ayers' Twitter. If you look up Christopher Ayers, you will see his.
It's about to auto suggest. I would see.
There he is. He's right under Bevins. Chris Ayers VA.
Okay.
That is it. And then the other one that is very near and dear to my heart is the Bria Foundation. Okay. It is the Bria Fund, BriaFundSupporters.com. It is a charity that puts money into a research for a vaccine for FIP, which is feline infectious peritonitis. It is one of the top killers of like your average domestic house cat. Okay. If you've ever had a cat that seemed fine but was maybe about 2 years old, started looking a little swollen in the stomach, and then just died, chances are it was FIP. It is a almost 100% fatal disease that has no vaccine and no cure. So it's all the research going to fighting that, because it's taken so many house cats from us. And in case anyone didn't saw my lap during this entire panel, I am a crazy cat person.
Crazy cat person. All right, I'm going to put both of your links in chat for you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to be aware of in 2020. I think 2020 is the year we found out that we were all doing as good a job taking care of each other as we would like. And so...
I like that. That is a good way to put it.
Okay, so there's that. And then Hayden, where do you want me to go on the internet?
All right, so I have been a huge supporter of the whole Black Lives Matter movement. It is very, very near and dear to my heart. Just last week, I ran a Dungeons and Dragons game with the cast of Goblin Slayer, and we are doing another one. And all of the money that we raise during those streams goes towards Black Lives Matter. I donate live on stream with you guys. My Twitch is Hayden Daviau. So this week on Friday, we are playing one more time to wrap up the game and to try and raise some more money towards the Black Lives Matter movement. So you can see me right there. I have been playing horror games lately, but we are going to be playing D&D again with as much of the cast as possible. And then another charity that's very near and dear to my heart is the Trevor Project.
Yes. Okay.
The Trevor Project, it supports LGBT kids who may need help. They've been kicked out of their homes due to the discrimination. Unfortunately, that is still rampant. And as someone who is non-binary, pansexual, my mom is gay. My dad was trans. It's very near and dear to my heart, and being able to support people like myself, and it's very, very important to me. So the Trevor Project is something I'm also planning to do charity streams for in the future, because I want to do as much as I can to help the youth.
100%. So for anybody out there, and I know we did this, Gray and I talked about this, almost called you Moose. Hayden, Gray and I talked about this. Dante Bosco as well. They do charity streams when they watch Avatar on their Twitch, and the Trevor Project was the one that they did last week. So for anyone that's in crisis, if there's anybody that is watching us now, if you watch this in the future, let me get you so that you can see the phone number. There we go. So it's nice and big. Feel free to pause the screen here if you're watching live, and if you're watching this at some future point. This is for you if you find yourself in crisis, and only you know what that looks like to you. But there is a hotline of people that are there, and they're amazing. I have called the hotline myself when we raised money for the Trevor Project. I called them to get to know them and ask them questions and stuff like that. They are a bunch of really cool people that are there to help you if you identify as part of the LGBTQ community. And I'm not saying if other people call you things. I'm saying if you identify in that community, then pause it right now, go call that line, and make sure that you find out that there are people that care that you are who you are. So I'm going to put that in chat as well. Ladies, thank you very much for your time. Hayden, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I appreciate everybody. Those links are in chat. Enjoy your break, and I will see everyone in VIP at 8 p.m. Central, which is 6 p.m. Pacific. And then everyone, in the meantime, get your questions ready, and Krystal and Hayden will be answering questions in VIP. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks so much.